Jefrrey Bassa. Who's the Bassa? The final Bassa, Jefrrey Bassa. So linebacker from Oregon. Teja was the only linebacker we covered on our pre-draft analysis shows, which is hilarious that the only linebacker we covered is the guy we end up drafting. It's not another nutso thing from our pre-draft analysis shows. Guy's an athletic freak. That's going to allow us to hopefully be able to cover tight ends and running backs again. So hopefully he gives us that kind of edge out there on the defensive side of things, and kind of allows Spags to kind of whip up some special things in the from the linebacking group. What do you guys grade this Jefrrey Bassa pick in the 5th round?
I think he definitely helps out our linebacker core, no doubt about it. I think as far as talent-wise, when I was telling you the other guys that they had over the years, they were like, okay, maybe we need to get another guy here that can do a little bit more than we've asked the other guys to do, okay, and show a little bit more. And I said, whenever you have Drew Tranquil's out, Chanel or Bolton, then you're going to have to start wondering, okay, can the other guys handle it? And this right here, I think he kind of helps with your concern. He's a guy that could come in and replace any of those guys and do a great job. I love his leadership ability. I love that he has a dog mentality about him. We talk about athletic freak. That's exactly what he is. We talked about coverage. And so if you want to take a Nick Bolton out on, 3rd down or whoever it may be, Drew Tranquil, you can put this guy right here in. Does a great job in coverage. He can absolutely fly to get up there and make tackles. Pretty sure tackler. And so, hey, they said he's a gay replacement. He's got the speeds as what you look for a linebacker. But I like him. I like him a lot. So yeah, it is. It's a good pull, Tage, on this one. Finding Bassa. So I know he's not the tallest of guys, 6'1". We always want the Fred Warners, right? They got mad because Nick Bolton wasn't 6'4", 6'5" with locks. Okay, he's got locks, but he's not 6'5". But all he does is make tackles. I think for him, he could come into that linebacker room and absolutely contribute his very first year. Okay?
He's ripped, dude. I mean, that last image of him.
Yeah,
look at that. I know. I went too far back.
Yeah, it's not doctored either. That's the real deal. Suckers.
That right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
The King Leonidas out there.
Mm-hmm.
Without the CGI.
Without the CGI, yeah.
It listed at 6'1" on the NFL.com, but I see him listed like 6'1" and change to 6'2" a lot of places. He's probably 6'1" and change, maybe. It's pretty good size. I wouldn't say it's not small.
No, it's not. I mean, no. But you know how everybody wants the guy that, like I said, Fred Warner, a dude who's 6'3" and a half and 6'4", thinking that only those guys prototypically can do those jobs. But this guy right here can run down anything and everybody. Like I said before, man, I played against some really good linebackers. I think he'll fit right into that category.
Yeah. Another part of the whole conversation of making tough decisions, you have to draft guys a year early because you don't want a rookie to be put in especially a 4th round pick to be put in a situation where he has to play really well for us to look good at linebacker, right? It's another great luxury to have to bring him along, have him steal some snaps, have him learn from a good vet group. And then maybe if you need that money to dedicate to McDuffie or to dedicate to Karlaftis, maybe you have to make the tough decision with Tranquil. I don't know. I like Tranquil a lot, but again, there's a lot of players that I liked over the years that we had to make tough decisions on. It's just part of the business and smart for the Chiefs to get ahead of it by a year and do that and try to find a perfect replacement maybe for him. So I think Bassa played a little, maybe more of the middle in Oregon, but he'll be more of a chase and cover type linebacker for us. Hard to dictate that now because it's so early, but I think he's a really good player with a lot of potential though to become our next just chase and cover linebacker. They had him ISO against tight ends, even some slot receivers, running backs. I mean, he's a guy you could just do so much with, and even try to blitz once in a while. And he's got such a high IQ, and he's a good leader. I just think he's an asset to have a year before we have to make a tough decision. We have 2 upcoming possible free agents at linebacker, starting linebacker. So, there's a reason why we did it, because I know linebacker wasn't really on a lot of people's radar. It wasn't on mine until I was like, you know what? I think that last week I did safety and linebacker. I was like, I don't know about these two. We could easily have to go linebacker or safety this draft because we have to make some tough decisions soon. Guys are coming up on their contracts. And then he just fit. He fit what we're looking for, and he fits the kind of guy we want. And we're lucky he fell. We're lucky he fell to that pick. Again, with him, one of the main podcasts I listened to, they had us taking him at 95. So it just goes to show you, we got him
Really?
down later. Yeah. So just lucky. Again, just things fell really well for us. I know it's still it's April, so we don't know what's going to happen with a lot of these guys in the future, but future looks bright right now. I give Bassa, I'm gonna go JD style, go B+.
There you go. But I think you sent us the article earlier that we had him as a top 100 prospect for us.
Yeah, he was a top 100 on our board, and he's the reason why we didn't, because there were a lot of running backs, and running back is a position we wanted in the draft. And he said it before. They talked about it during. It just shows you they were like, man, we can't pass up on him. Like he's that good to the point of let's wait on a running back because he's that good.
And it also tells you how deep the running back class was. We're like, okay, we could probably get one later, but we probably can't get a guy of Jefrrey Bassa's stature, and how they felt about him, obviously the top 100. You're not going to get him in round 7 with the way the linebacker class was in this class.
No. I mean, a lot of running backs went in the 4th. They weren't kidding about that. There was a lot of running backs available in the 4th.
Yeah. And Jenny, you talked about his leadership the other day after the draft, and that's something that I continue to hear about more so. And also too, I think people forget, right? People talk about the green dot. What comes with the green dot linebacker is that leadership and the responsibility aspect, but also that leadership, that role model everyone's looking to on the defensive side, like the quarterback and the defense, as you always say about Bolton.
You're putting everybody in position. Everybody looks to you. When there's a call being made, if there's any question of what's going on, they look to the green dot for the answer. Period and point blank. That's how it is. So he echoes what the coach wants. And the coach knows what he needs. And when the coach talks to somebody, he talks to him. That's who he goes through. And he's like, man, you make sure you get everybody else in place. That's what you do as a general. So yeah, that's high class right there, man. It's high class.
And they have 2 of those guys, right? Because obviously Bolton's are the QB on the and they got the reside that. But they have 2 of those guys. Talk about how important it is to have 2 of those type of leaders, right? Because you always have one guy to look to, but if you have 2 guys like that on one side of the ball, that's pretty special to have.
Yeah. He's somebody you don't have to try to keep in line. He already knows. He knows his assignment. He knows it. And so he's going to bark right there with you. So on Bolton's over there barking, ho, 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 ho. Bassa's on the side, ho, 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 ho. So it's going to be 2 dogs over there barking. So one playing in the mic, the other one's playing in the wheel backer, the weak. So, this is a good pickup, man. I got him down. I got him a B. But I could talk to him almost being a B+, but I got him down as a B. He's good. He's a good fit for us. I want to see how. So my question with him, because of his size, is does he get swallowed up? You don't want that guy to get swallowed up by guards and tackles moved up to the second level. I haven't done that much of a deep dive to say that enough of it, but I definitely did see. So
one of his strengths on NFL.com was rarely allows blockers to latch on and dictates terms.
That's beautiful. I like that. Who was that? Where was that from?
Lance Zierlein from NFL.com.
Oh, okay.
Most of his negatives are, it's one of those they're not really negatives. He just might not be elite. missing the playmaking gene, muscular but smaller for the interior, not as instinctive as you like in the run game. I mean, it just sounds like he's not a middle linebacker is what it sounds like. You know what I mean? It just sounds like he's not a middle linebacker in the league. It's like he's a linebacker. You just got to find the best spot for him. And that's when it comes down to the team who drafts him, what they envision for him and what they don't. I don't think they draft. Obviously, with Bolton in there for the next 3 years at good money, the man's got his own money. I don't think they're drafting him to be middle linebacker anytime soon. So, you know,
I think you get a guy like us in, so Bolton, those guys can help him recognize things. And I think it's part of that's when I'm hearing that somewhat of concern about him. Now, I think it's what it is, just the recognition of plays, playing fast. You know, don't second guess yourself. But once he gets it, and they get there doing all the film study and getting right there where it needs to be, and reality is, when you leave from college, you go to the NFL. Defenses are more complex. Spags is a much more complex defense, but he'll do a good job. And he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy. You can tell just the leadership. He'll get it. You know, guy like that, you don't have to worry about him. You know, like, is he gonna be here when we need him? No, he'll be there. He'll be there. And I think that's what will, having this going into this room, man. He might, I'm telling you right now, he might be one of the top ones we get in this draft when it's all said and done.
A B? I think that's a B. That's B plus talk.
Look at Taze. Look at
that's B plus talk.
That's it. We'll see. That's a solid.
I'm being nice about the negotiation tactic. Yeah. I could have said that's A minus talk. But I'll just say that's B plus talk if you feel good about it.
No, not when you have problems recognizing and when they say ain't A minus.
Well, hey, I mean they played him out of position. They should have. I keep reading that they played him an inside just to get all the best athletes on the field, which means they probably felt he would have been a better weak side, but they didn't because they wanted to have just all their guys in the field.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jefrrey Bassa could be one of the steals of the draft here. Yeah, and the fact they had him so high at top 100 tells me a lot about what they can see, what they can do with him. And again, I think Spags is the real winner of this draft, to be quite honest with you. The amount of weapons they gave him on the defensive side of the ball. I know we got Royals and our potential left tackle of the future, and then the guy we're about to talk about, Brashard Smith. But I think Spags, Spags really won this thing. He won his battle.
And think about that trade out. We got Bassa and Simmons for moving back one pick. That is crazy.
Yeah, when you say like that, yeah, it is nuts.
That's crazy.
Bassa and Simmons moving back one.
That's unbelievable. Wow.
That's why VJ gets to pay the big bucks there. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.